Be our unofficial tour of history. This was actually the first thing I ever ran. It's a Pre-Pack 9, completely analog system. There should be some dimmers somewhere. We don't really know why it has 12 sliders as opposed to 12, which is what everyone else was doing, which is based on three-phase power, by the way. But there you have it. Boy, that brings back memories. Epitron I never really worked with, so I have nothing to say about it. Let's see. Oh, light palette. Light palette 2. An iconic product in our industry, a true watershed. Still probably the most elegant lighting control console ever built. This is the original light palette. My best story about light palette was we were taking it to Chicago Lyric for a demo. They were replacing, I forgot what console they had there. And this was, of course, in the days when you had to ship them in wooden crates because they were so big. And we shipped it to Chicago from a trade show in New York. By the time it got to the theater, it was late, and it came around, wheeling around Wacker Drive in the back of a Toyota pickup truck, and somebody had driven a forklift right through the crate.
Oh.
And we brought it out of the crate, and this thing, the keyboard, is keyed here so that you could drop it down for service. Well, the keyboard had completely dropped down and was just flapping in the wind. This CRT was completely pushed out, maybe about 4 inches. And I looked at this thing and I thought, oh my God, this is going to be a disaster. We plugged it in and it actually worked. It was the most amazing thing, and that was Light Palette 2 takes a lick and keeps on ticking. This is a terrific board, and it sets so many of the standards for control philosophy that we still use today. One of my favorite all-time products. So that's Light Palette 2. I can't really speak to the LMI product. We bought them at ETC, but I don't know much about it. This, of course, is the ELF console. This was the first product designed by ETC for Disney, for the Electric Light Parade. And this is the product that put ETC into business. It eventually became the channel track for Colortran, which was the first OEM product that ETC made. And then eventually we went off and developed our own products. This will bring tears to the eyes of our CEO when he sees it. Okay, keep going, keep going, keep going. Lightboard M, my very first experience in user interface development. Let's see. When I joined Strand, the hardware and the software, the hardware had already been designed. They had already sold about 200 of them, but they had no functioning software whatsoever. So we basically had to design the user interface off of the keys that were already there and the specifications that had already been sold into the market. I think by the time we started shipping this, we had sold 450 of them, and they were all on back order, and then I left Strand because this product killed me. So, but this is Lightboard M. Let's see, here we have 2 products from ETC. This is the Vision. This product was actually still shipping when I joined ETC. And the Idea. Both of these are sort of based on the same idea.
Yeah, that's the best.
The first manufacturer that I actually worked for was Kliegel. And at the point that I joined Kliegel, they were shipping Performer 2. And I did a lot of training on this desk. And I actually wrote the operations manual. Keep in mind, this was before everyone had word processors and computers sitting on their desk. Kliegel had one sort of word processing thing that you had to fight for time on in order to get any work done. And so this manual and the Performer 2.3 manual were all created long before computers were available. And so let's see, moving along. What else do we have here? And we have Obsession. So this is Obsession. This is my second effort at UI. And can I just tell you, I'm much more successful than the first one, I think. This was ETC wanting to get into Broadway. And because Broadway required tracking style systems and the older ETC products were not tracking systems, Obsession was specifically designed to meet the needs of that marketplace. And we used many of the ideas from Light Palette as the basis for the product because that was what the design community in New York wanted. This product eventually became, very briefly, Obsession ML, which is not here, which was our attempt to integrate moving light controls. That was very short-lived, and then we came out with Obsession 2, which is basically the bat board, as everybody remembers it. And these are still in service, both these original Obsessions and Obsession 2, in rental houses all over the place. Now we have the Express product. Express was a derivative of the Expression product line, which was a hugely successful product line for ETC. No longer in production, but probably the biggest selling lighting control console of all time. I don't have the actual numbers, but they flew off the shelf. And still a great desk. They're in service pretty much everywhere. Now that we're no longer shipping those, we actually have replaced it with the Element console. And so this is the latest effort that we have. This is EOS. EOS was a from-the-ground-up development. It was our attempt to make a product that was not a hybrid console, which had some support for moving lights and some for conventional, sort of bombed onto the side, but it was a fully integrated approach. EOS began shipping about 4 years ago. It has spun off 2 other products, and there will be a 3rd one in the future in the family. And we just continue to work at software development. And that's really all I have to say about the lighting control consoles here.